Hi everybody, nice to have you here. Today, we should build our own economical system. Yeah, and how do we do that? This is a very interesting topic. So, what are the system we live in? This we must first know, so we know when we have built another system that we know what system we are in now. So we have the economical system we have, and this is global. So every country have their own economical system, and the glue for this economical system is money. So money is a little bit like the electricity in the line for so that we use it for every machines and so on. And in the economical system, we need money, we need its energy to go around. This is the function. So and the government control this, and then the different governments and the countries are together in one even bigger economical system. So, and more or less everybody is in this system. And in the West, we are 100% in it. And in more poorer countries, they are less in it because much of the things they do by themselves and so on. They don't buy it; they have to produce it themselves and so on. So this system have different control mechanisms. So if you have like $100 million on the bank, then you are in the upper end of this system. So you have a lot of benefits of this system. You can do many things. You can travel. You can have a nice car. You can have a nice house in the best places in the world. You can eat the best food. You can do everything. If you have only $1 million, you are somewhere in the middle. You can also have a good life, but you cannot do as much in this system as those who have over $100 million, of course. And then you have everybody who have less than $1 million. So where are you in this system, right? In reality, there is very few in the top. And these in the middle are disappearing fast, and we get more and more people in the bottom of this system. So how can we do to change this? If you are in the bottom, you cannot do so much. You are very, limited, and you cannot do much. Or, well, you can actually decide to be a little bit less in this economical system. Yeah, you built your own economical system. We have systems right now that elaborating with things like that, this like Bitcoin and so on, but this is on a more higher level. I will talk about very simple level for normal people, simple people. So I will start here with tomatoes. Yeah, you go and shop tomatoes. You go and buy 1 kilo tomatoes in the shop, and you pay like 3.5 euro or something, and you go home and you eat it. For this you paid with money, and this money you need to get somewhere. You have to go and work and so on, and inflation do so that this money are worth less and less every year. So actually the government steals your money. So it gets tougher and tougher, and a lot of people feel this. Now, instead of buying 1 kilo tomatoes and eat them, you go to another shop, the garden shop, and you buy seeds, tomato seed, for 0.7 euros, and you buy some soil, and you buy some pots, and then you plant these pots, let's say 15 tomatoes, and then you take care of these tomatoes the whole season. What have you just done? Well, you grow your own tomatoes, that's for sure. But now the question is, did you get 1 kilo tomatoes? No, you know that you earned a lot more. You had much more tomatoes than 1 kilo, you know. So already here you gain something because you did it yourself. You're starting to build a system outside of the economic system, the normal economical system, because you are now in your own little world and planting and building and so on. From these seeds, for these tomatoes, you have taken new seeds. And the plants, the dead plants that you now have, you don't just throw them away. You chop them down and you make a compost and you start to mix it with the old soil and you nourish that, so you will have this soil and build new soil like a compost for next year. So steadily building on your system, your garden, but it's also an economical system. So season number 2, next year, you already have seeds, so you don't have to buy them. You might need to buy some new compost, and you want to buy some more pots. So now you don't have to think about seeds, you already have seeds and you have pots, but you also want to interact with other people a little bit, yes? So you mix, you trade. You have some seeds, your friend have some other seeds, so now you exchange, and now you have 2 different kind of tomato seeds. So suddenly you have more variation in your system. And you grow these tomatoes year 2. And you have double the amount of tomatoes. Yes? So first year you get something out of your 3.5 euro. This year you got double out of your 3.5 euros because you have something going. Yeah. And you actually just get too much tomatoes. So you can start to use this with friends and family and neighbors. You can start to, yeah, you get tomatoes from me and I got your old pots that you don't need. Yeah, fine. So you exchange. Now you have more pots. And then you go to another neighbor who have a nice garden. Oh, you have so much compost there. Do you want to trade? I have 1 kilo tomatoes and I got some dirt from you. Yeah, wow, fine. And so on. So already year 3, let's say, you have everything you need for this tomato system you have created. You don't have to buy anything more. You don't need money anymore for continuing this system. So 3rd year you exchange seed again and you mix, and now you also have cucumbers and maybe some squash. So it's grown and you already have new pots and you have even more compost than before. And you see how it rolls. And this you can do. It doesn't involve money anymore. You are not in the economical system. This doesn't mean that you not totally are in the economical system. Of course, this is not what I'm saying. We need our society. We need this system. It's a fine, superb system. It's not like we're going totally 100% off grid and don't want the society at all. No, it's just a little bit way to create something so you are not so, what can we say, you're not so sensitive to inflation and food scarcity and so on. So if the price of tomatoes goes up now, it doesn't affect you because you have your own tomatoes, and it's the same tomatoes, and you continue. You have your regenerative system parallel to the big economical system. And this you can build out gigantic. And of course, that's what we do in permaculture. We built this system, but at the same time, we also regenerate nature, and we build nature in this. And we help, of course, the economical system. So it's not that we are enemy to the economical system. We actually support the economy system because we don't need to use it so much for simple things. And one day we have so much tomatoes and different kind of things that we create in this system, so we can actually start to sell a little bit. Let's say I want a fancy greenhouse. You cannot go and buy that with tomatoes. No, you must have money, because that's how it worked. I don't think my neighbor have just a new greenhouse left over so he can give me or something that and I come with 200 kilos of tomatoes. Why should he have 200 kilo tomatoes? So this is why we have money and so on. So there's a fantastic, beautiful function with money. But to support ourselves and being a little bit out of the system is really good. And many people really love this idea. I like the idea, but I don't have an idea that be 100% out of the system. But some are. We call them prepper and off-grid people and so on. They really want to cut themselves out 100% of the system and really test and try and see if they can handle everything they need by themselves. That's a cool thought. I have it also in my genes. How much can I build? How much can I do? And so on. But most important is now, in the situation that the world is in right now, we don't really know all the effects from last year, because the food system doesn't work doesn't work like other systems. It takes a whole year or maybe 2 years to come back, because it's seasonal. Right? So everything that happened in the beginning of last year, we will not see the effect directly. We will see it this year. So if we have shortage of wheat last year because of the war, we're still using 2021's wheat. So when we should start to use 2022's amount of wheat, then it's much less. But we will not see it until maybe end of 2023, when there are no wheat and so on. So we have no idea right now how much food there will be in the world right now. And many strange things happened last year. We had big floods in Pakistan. We had drought in China. We had drought in the United States. We had flood in the United States. We have these cold winds that destroy fruit trees and so on in the United States. We have drought here in Europe. We had no water. So there's in Africa. We shouldn't talk about Africa. So much going on now. So for the security and for the calmness of our mind, it's really good to be this person who can build a system by themselves for at least some of the food. And I must say, in Sweden, the interest for this have just exploded. My biggest interest is not in vegetables and things like that. It's building food forests. And we are already 1,200 members in the food forest Facebook page and so on. And that means that there's a big interest, because of if 1,200 people are building food forests in Sweden, that's actually much. Yeah, it doesn't sound much, but it is much. And I think it will just start to grow more and more. So this is one way. There's of course many ways. I talk in food, but it can also mean other things that we need. For example, energy. There's such a big interest in having solar panels and windmills and so on right now. Everybody wants their own solar panels because energy price goes up. But if we look at it, there have been a big interest in solar panels for a long time. It's growing, growing, growing. And why is that? Yeah, because this is a parallel system. We have our own energy. So you can't imagine how nice it is now. The sun is shining. Okay, I'm sick, so I have to be inside. COVID, of course. And the sun is shining outside, and that means that my parallel system working, it's pumping, it actually create energy, and it creates money, and pump it in to the grid and give the system support. So I am not only supporting myself with my own system, I also support others, keep the price low. So we can do both. So it's so nice that you have your own energy. And of course, I'm not the only one thinking about this. Everybody's thinking about this. Everybody wants their own solar panel now, have their own energy, you know. And in the old time, it was the same. You had the forest beside you, so you just went out, picked the wood, went home, cut it, and you dried it, and then you use it for winter and for cooking and so on. So we have done the same thing all over. And you see here, there is one system. There is one, it's not an economical system. It's the real system, and that is nature, the ecosystem. We cannot get out of the ecosystem and the natural system, because then we're dead. We are nature. Humans are just a little part of nature. We are function biological in this system. So if the ecological system, if nature doesn't work, then we are dead. Whatever we do, we can have so much money, doesn't matter. If we collapse the ecosystem, we're dead. Everybody, actually, yes, everybody, even if you are a fancy doctor or a mayor and you have a lot of money, you should start to be involved in this and build your own ecosystem, or help somebody else. Give money to some organization that builds ecosystem, because we all need to be involved in this. I just try to talk about it and do it my way, as funny as possible as it is for me. And you have to do it as funny as possible for you. I'm talking here about tomatoes, but I don't grow so much tomatoes. I actually much better like nut trees and fruit trees and so on. That's because I have land. But if you don't have land, you only have a balcony, then tomatoes is suddenly such a perfect little small system to start with. It could be something else. So you have energy, you have food, and so on. Some people like to make their own clothes again, and doing all these traditional things, because clothes also start to become really expensive. So everything counts to create your own system. So if you can, make your own clothes, you make your own food, you make your own energy, you build things, and so on, then you are in this system and you start to share. We have a thing here in permaculture. That's why I'm talking about this. We have earth care, and you understand that, the care of earth, yes, build, help nature. But we also have people care and fair share or fair trade. This fair share is, so if you have enough tomatoes, why shouldn't you help your neighbor? Because he will be very happy, and now he have tomatoes and he don't need to go and buy it. I'm totally sure if you come with a kilo of tomatoes, he will invite you and say, hey, let's have a cup of coffee. You actually don't need to buy that cup of coffee that day, because he already gave it to you, So we will start to build not only our own little system, we should connect it with other people's small little systems. Yeah, because then it becomes really, really cool. Now, here we have a problem. The government and the big banks don't like this, of course. Why? Well, if I give my neighbor tomatoes, I gave it to him. There is no tax there, and there is no, connection. If I sell something and it should go via the bank, so they can take a little bit money out of this, and you send it there, and they take a little money to send the money from the bank to this person. So they don't earn anything. So all of you guys who like conspirations and World Economic Forum is evil and so on, this is a big thing, because maybe they want something, because they are in the top of the system and you are in the bottom, so they want to benefit themselves first and then others. That's how plant works. That is how we works. Yes, first yourself, then others. And they want so much money that for themselves that there is no money left for anybody else. So they sit there and think they make good for the world, and some things are good, but still, humans are humans. So we also have to have our own system. So we trade with people, but not with money. We give and we have, normal old traditional style, and we fight a little bit against the government here and so on. I'm not against paying taxes. We need to pay taxes for hospitals and roads and so on. So I'm not against any government. So I'm not an antagonist or rebel or something. I just like to be self-sufficient, and I also like to build stuff, and I like to create with nature, because nature really needs it. So once again, building your own economical system is beneficial for you, and it's really interesting, and soon I will start to teach how to really do it really effective, so you can do it really good. But you already understand it because you heard the discussion about tomatoes, and you already know this. The more you do yourself, the cheaper it is, and it's more beneficial for you. Yes. So this was my thoughts for today, and please give some comments down below, and tell me how you built your system, or how you think about it, or if you think, how should I start with my system, because all system will be different, but still tomato tastes very good. Have a nice day.